There you go. Hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
He's not feeling so good today, so I'm sorry. Hey, Andrea, Kathy, Mike, Spence, Teresa, Gila. We're not going to have Burl today because she's getting her hair did. So she's going to watch this on replay. So, hi, Burl. Hopefully so will Greg. Hi, Greg. Alright, so I want to have fancy alpaca within a fancy frame that is going to be framed by a real frame. So I have my flourishes up here, and I might as well bump this up for you guys. I rearranged the screen because I know I kept going off of it, and if I'm not paying attention, off we go. So based on my reference, which pop this one up real quick. I didn't change the... There we go. It is... I got a lot of highlight in the front, but because I'm turning this into a frame, I know that the light is going to be coming more from the top, so I need to make sure I highlight the top more so than the bottom. I've decided that I'm not going to put in the full thickness of the frame. What I'm going to do is burn on either side of the line, and then I'm going to go back, hopefully next week. Hopefully I can get everything in and we can add color next week, and put gold ink to make it more metallic and give it more of the fancy feel that I want. But right now we have to start with the highlights. So I'm going to take my General's charcoal white and start putting just my highest highlights. Well, this is where I know I don't want to burn, because this is what's going to be standing out. So I need to make sure, actually more up here, there's more up here, there we go. I need to follow the light, and we're going to focus just on this side, I think. That way I can stay focused and not go all over the place. I know sometimes I can be bad about that. So let's get some highlights in. And then again, this is just so my brain sees, okay, I don't want to burn dark that area. It's just a trigger for my brain. So I pay attention, because sometimes it's easy to just keep going and going and going. I also need, for a metal look to work, not only do you need those bright highlights, but you need good darks to contrast those. And that's what gives us the shape of metal, whether you're doing chrome or gold, silver, aluminum. You have to have those darks in there as well. So right now I'm heating up the 18 extra small, and it is, let's see here, I'm going to curl this around, make it look more pointy. So I need this. It's on 1, and I am burning on basswood, so remember that's always gonna take less heat.
Joker says, I'm glad you did this because I tried powering a steel frame with rivets and it was not satisfactory.
Ah, well, you'll get it. It's just a little bit of practice. But see, with my reference, I'm actually having to kind of flip it on some places. I mean, not so much the top here, but on this one, I'm going to have to flip it in my brain to make sure I get my lighting right. Alright, so I am going to go for my darks right now. And remember, it's not going to be fully dark. Let's see here, we can go in a little closer. There we go. Because I never go the full darkness until I'm adjusting at the end. So let's get some darks in here. And with metal, you will have darks that bump up right to the lights. So we need to make sure and get it right up next to the light. And since I've got this curving, need to make sure. There's also midtones in here, so I'm trying to leave room for that. I'm just using the tip, dragging where I want my darkest darks at. Getting those in. And because this is sitting on top of there, we have a shadow. So we gotta keep that.
Shirley's here.
Hey Shirley. Keep that in mind. And then this part of the line is actually going to be darker because it's the furthest from the light. And that can be a little lighter. This little leaf is overlapping. So let's get shadow in there. And I can actually lower my heat more because it's... I wrote a funny post in the group about this pen. I got it a little wrong because I was testing 2 pins at once. I marked this as a 17 gauge wire and it's not, it's 18 gauge. But it had to be made thicker to keep it from breaking. So that's why it runs differently. It holds the heat more. Alright. Getting our underneath. And where my high highlights are, I'm thinking that's where some of the gold is going to go when I go back with that. Let's see here. Got to turn. Get underneath here. Again, we have to keep in mind what is moving away from the light, because that's where our darkest pieces are going to be. Make sure I'm still on camera. And get to moving. And sometimes it will look like an outline, and that's okay with metal. Alright, let's see here. So we have a little bit. And again, I have to remind myself to stay focused. We're just going to work on this area here. I'm trying to make it look as real as possible. Alright, get our curve in there. And I'm actually going to bump down to 0. And if it's still too hot, I'm going to have to switch over to the 18S, which is fine. So let's get some midtones in here. These will be our darker midtones. Flip my board so I can drag my pen instead of ovals. That'll get me a little smoother burn, because I'm going across the grain like I am. Sometimes the ovals won't be as smooth. So a drag works better. Let's see here. This is our darkest part, so let's get that in there. Remember, it's always going to be ugly until it's finally not. So just deep breath. Excuse me. Stick with it. I'm going to go lighter here. I don't want a full dark, but our highlight's not going to go there. Fill that in together to reshape it a little bit. Go. And so at I do want this burn, even though I'm putting the gold ink, because it'll help the gold ink make it feel more real. If I just painted all of this gold, it would have no depth to it. It would look like I just glued something to it, and I don't want that. The gold is just going to be an accent, not the final look. By putting some of this burn in though, if I'm not cautious, but a little more conservative with the gold use, it will feel more real. Because when, yeah, see, sometimes the grain will catch. I might have to do a little bit of sanding to smooth it out. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so let's get our curve in here. And so we have a light right here. We're going to put a medium here, I think. And dark shows up more along the edge. Excuse me. Let's get that in here. At some point I'm going to have to erase, but right now sorry, I'm not trying to make anybody dizzy. It's just always easier to adjust your wood versus standing on your head and trying to burn it.
Yeah.
Let's see here, I'm going to leave a gap so we have a light. Go. And even just putting all the mediums in, I can go back and put the darks in. So however it works for you, the way you like it better. But just know if you start with the mediums, you're going to have to darken it. You're going to have to take that deep breath. Because I know it can be stressful. Take that deep breath and get those darks in there. Upside down again. Sorry, I don't think you want to see me stand on my head. Don't think that would be a pretty... That'd be a pretty picture.
Well, I can't stand on my head.
Neither can I. Let's see here.
I think I'd pass out.
Oops. Yeah. It's just not happening. Oops. See, I keep catching the grain right there, and it's how I'm holding my pen. It's my fault. Let's get the rest of this in here.
I'm 11 watching now.
Yay.
No, now 12.
Let's get this in here. So now I can go back and I'm going to switch over. I was going to use the 19M ball tip, but because I know there's some really darks that I want up underneath, I'm going to go ahead and go with the 9 writing tip. And I'm going to go up to 2.5. It's a small tip. Take 30 seconds to heat up. Let's see. Hey, Val. Let's see here. They're all quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were saying, how do you try?
Somebody tell me a joke. Actually, no. This is a hot pen. Maybe not. And I've already got the spiders coming to visit. Had one freak me out yesterday. Alright, so let's tighten this up. Get it tight. Sometimes you gotta go little. So I'm at 9. I was gonna say 9 3/4. We're at the train station. I do not know where that came from. I'm at 2 3/4. And just getting some of that dark in. A little bit more detail. I can't be at 9 3/4. I still haven't gotten my Hogwarts letter. That's why I said spider, and you've been saying for so long it's the spiders bringing me my letter. That popped in my head. That is where it came from, I bet.
Nope.
You're
They just want to bring you your invite.
They could send a raven, you know.
They're sending spiders.
Well, they need to stop. Alright, just getting some of this undercut in. Now this is going to actually change direction. So you need to bring it down.
Val says, I'm working while I watch and listen. Joker says, sanding wood while watching. Val says, busy watching. You're asking why they're so quiet.
Gotcha. Let's see, we got some dark down here. Let's get that in there. I might have to do a little sand back to lighten some of this. We shall see. Because some of my mediums are a little darker than I want. But we do need light here. That's too dark. Bump it down to 1.5. Granted, once I erase, the burn won't look as dark because I am going over the graphite. Let's curl this. Let's see how much. Oh, I forgot I got a line there. You gotta be careful sometimes. See, and taking the white away, it changes how it looks. But where I have the white, I think that's where the gold will go for the most part. So looking at it, there's a couple areas I think I got a little too dark. So what I'm going to do is take my sanding stick, wrap it with a piece of 400 grit paper. Actually, I probably need to... No, I got enough. First, actually, I'm going to lighten some of this.
Joker says he's loving pyrography because he can do it in the middle of the night without making loads of noise.
That's right. And there's the burning part of it, there's no cleanup. Like, you have to worry about cleaning your brushes every time.
Brushes, anything,
palettes, yeah, anything you're using.
paint cups, all that stuff.
We don't have to do that.
Yep.
We get to just flip it off and walk away.
And that way it's all like sketching. You don't got to sharpen your pencil either, so.
That's true. Let's see here. Going with the grain. Just using the tip. And if I lighten all of it, that's okay. I can always go back and darken.
Val says, man, who's up in the middle of the night? I lay down and I'm out till morning. That'd be nice.
Yes, it would. But I'm going with the grain. That's really important. Go with the grain. I can also lighten these up. This one is going to be a little harder because I'm trying to flip it in my brain instead of my reference photo having what I need it to be. So I just need to take a little bit more time. Be kinder to myself. That's probably the biggest lesson. Kind to oneself. I do try to go around a bigger area because I don't want to divot in the wood if I've been sanding too much. So I do need to take more off than I normally would. Trying to visualize the gold. Take my knife. If I use a knife, I do try to use sandpaper after. I think that line is bothering me. I think it's the line. Try not to gouge the wood.
Joker says he's an insomniac. He gets about 3 hours of sleep a night.
Well,
Val says if it takes her longer than 2 minutes to fall asleep, she feels like an insomniac.
Yeah, like last night, I was up at 3 o'clock. Went to bed at 12:30.
Yeah.
And then I was up at 6. Not the best sleep. And I do use an eraser to pull the sanding material out of the grain. Alrighty. So, let's go back. Put some of our white back in so we can see. Need to see. Let's see here. You just go back and forth and build it up. Because right now the white looks pretty harsh with the burning. Just the top of that, not the whole thing. Let's see here. I do need some deeper darks because now bump it up to 2. Take my time. Sometimes it's a back and forth. Let's see here. Let's get this in. Tighten it up. Sorry if I get quiet because I'm doing a small area. I'm kind of holding my breath.
Scott says he needs to buy more light. Val Daniels is recommending the light that you use.
Well, yeah, because I've got a lot more control with it.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to see. Let's see here.
She says it's awesome. It's like sitting at a well-lit window.
Oh, good. I'm glad. It does make it harder to burn if you're having a hard time seeing. Mess that up. Now I'm not going to go all the way around with this because I need to use the white or what will be gold to shape it. Give it a little. There we go. That just looks bad. Screwed it up. Screwed it up. So because I know I messed up, I'm just going to move on to another section. Deep breath. That way I can come back and fix it. I screw up all the time. All the time. If anybody ever tells you they don't screw up, they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to themselves.
Val says, yes, thank you so much, Val, for paving the way for all of us. We don't have to go through all the trial and errors.
But sometimes you should go through the trial and errors, depending on what it is.
Sorry.
Because that helps you learn more. So, I mean, like if it's material, that's one thing. I don't want you guys spending your money buying certain materials that you're not sure about. But burning itself, you will learn the most by, you can watch me all day long, but you're going to learn the most by screwing up. Yep. By giving it a try and screwing up.
Yeah, that's the fastest way to learn.
Yep.
See, doing.
I know I can fix that. It's just sometimes, I mean, I am human. So I got to take a deep breath. I do have the vortex swirling above me that I'm trying not to add to right now. The vortex of cuss words. And I had to remind myself, if I screw up an area and I'm having a hard time fixing it, there is going to be gold ink going over it. So, worst comes to worst, I cover it up.
How's that ink going to affect the wood burn?
It'll lay over it because the ink isn't transparent. It's in that drawer right there. I haven't decided the color yet, but it's alcohol ink. The problem I'm trying to figure out is the ink will look better when the wood is sealed, but I can't seal the wood yet. Granted, after the burning, until I get the flowers colored in, then I can seal, and then the ink will look better. But I can lay the ink down where I want it, and then once it's sealed, I can go back and put a new line over it to make it fill in right and look right. So that's what we're gonna do. No. Alright. So I'm switching back over. I gotta smooth this out. It's too harsh.
Smith says, I've decided when I screw up and I can't find my way back, I just make it up as I go.
Okay?
My final piece never looks like the reference picture.
Whatever it takes for you to be successful. Nobody says it has to be perfect.
No.
I'm a little bit more I pay a little bit more attention to my screw-ups because you guys are watching. I don't tend to point them out to everybody. But at the same time, I know a lot of people learn from it. And don't like that. Fill it in. So, to get something shiny that's curved, you gotta follow the curve. Just like in fur. I need to leave. Let's see here, which way is that going? This is a curve. Let's get our curve in here. Darker at the bottom. Now with the frame itself, I have been going back and forth between two different thoughts. Part of me wants to put some circles in here and burn dark around the circles, and then the circles are where the gold's gonna go. But I've got so much busy going on down here and in the middle, I don't know how that would look. Versus just doing a thick line around both of these lines and then having a gold simple strip down the middle. I'm kind of thinking that would look better. And one problem I have a hard time finishing a piece if I can't see it. For whatever reason, if I can't see it finished, I have a harder time trying to get it done. Excuse me.
Rose says this is going to look beautiful.
Oh, hi, Autumn. Thank y'all. Fingers crossed. Right now, I've just got the alpaca laid in. And I'm waiting to get everything else in so I can clean the board. Get all the graphite off of it. Which also means all this white will go and I'll have to reapply it. Alright. Now this is the 18 extra small and I'm back on 0. I'm just trying to raise them up and separate the two. Let's get a good dark in here. Nice and flat. So I'm using the top half of the tip, or bottom of the tip, so from the middle forward to get a nice smooth. burn, although if I'm in, like in this little area, I have to go more on the tip. And let's curl it. And remember, because this is a same pattern on both sides, whatever I do over here, I have to make sure to do over here, or it won't look right. But other than you guys, nobody else will know. Well, unless they find the video. Then they'll know. And then they'll be, oh well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I need to take off some of that white, get in my way. Yeah, you can erase. And then erasing shows you the difference in what the burn looks like without that bright highlight. It helps if you grab the right pen. Oops. Now I'll probably go back with the 18S to tighten up some of these lines, but in a lighter way. And then I have this line right here. Let's see here. How far does that line go? I need to switch photos. Is it up here? It is right here. I accidentally erased that line. So I have to decide if I go a little wider than I want to for the gold. Remember, the gold's going to cover it, so it's okay. Let's get some of that in there. I think you can tell where I've burned lighter, even though it's dark. Alright. Straighten my line. See, I brought that line down. I'll have to measure it. See how much I brought it down. So just using the tip with this pen burns hot. So I'm going to go ahead and burn this all the way in. Just so I can see where my edges stop for the flourish. Making a mess.
How much longer do you want to go?
I don't know. What time is it?
It's 32 after.
Yeah. So this will be a back and forth, back and forth. But I do need some of this dark to help shape. The flourish. Nice and slow, just a drag. So right now what I'm doing is creating that shadow that's going to be under the gold. But then I also need shadow under the flourish. Let's get that in there. And so we have it. Trying not to use the tip because I kept grabbing the wood. So this will be a back and forth, back and forth. There's a shadow under here too. And as I keep separating, putting more darks in, it'll start looking better. This is very much the ugly stage. Flat with the pen. In the middle where it's going to be the gold, I'm going lighter, so it means I'm moving my pen quicker. Once you get your pen speed down, you'll find you'll be adjusting your burner a lot less. Alright, so do we got any questions?
Not yet.
Let's see. Let's get our last questions in, and then. So yeah, I gotta get all this burning in before we can do any color tomorrow. So fingers crossed, I can get it done. I've got another project going on right now. It's halfway done. Alrighty. So as we do more and more burning in general, it'll start building it up. And then, like I said, where all this white is, I think that is where I'm going to put the gold. That way, I'm going to have to use a really thin paintbrush. But in doing that, that allows it to look like the gold is the highlight. And I have to pick the right color gold to match the burning.
Thank you, everybody, for the thumbs ups.
Did our friend come? Mm-hmm. Yay! Our friend will be here later. They're just running late today. Excuse me. Ah! Let's see here. Writing tip works.
She was asking Joker about calligraphy. About what he does.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that for me. I think people do beautiful work with it, just not me. There's other things that I feel comfortable doing, not lettering. Though it seems to be commissions that have the lettering. So any other time I avoid it. Alrighty. So, your contrast, you're having some really good darks with brights is what makes your metal really pop out. If it has less contrast, like this is metal, but it has less contrast, so it looks more matte, less shiny. So the more shiny the metal, the higher the contrast needed. Let's see here. Anything else? Did I get it?
I think so.
Did I do it? Right now it's ugly. It'll be ugly for a little while longer. And then it won't be ugly anymore. Then it won't be ugly anymore. But it's kind of nice to start having the frame in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so I can see how everything's going to go together. Because there's so much darks in here, this tells me that I need more darks in the alpaca and I need more darks in the flower. Everything works together. If I only have the dark in the frame, the alpaca and the flowers would just be so flat and they just won't stand out because because these flourishes are also here in the flower. So if I got the super darks here and I got the super darks here, these guys in the middle will just fade away. So I have to have some of this dark in both the alpaca and the flowers in order for it to feel balanced. If I don't do that, it will feel off. And here, let me pull it. One way you can tell is if you're looking at the screen right now, squint at the screen. What stands out the most? We see this, we see the nose, a little bit of the eye, and these aren't even dark enough. But our eye, when we squint, we immediately see the darks that stand out, and that's up here. Not really anything down here. So that's one thing to always pay attention to. Go dark.
Well, this looks great so far. Apparently our work's getting in the way. Tracy says, that's a good idea. Oh wait, shoot, that was about Joker. Kathy says, looks awesome. And
thank
Joker
you.
says, yes, it does look amazing.
I see so much wrong with it, but I am the artist. You're going to do the same with your art. And we will look at it as just a pretty piece that you created. But I don't see that with my work. I don't look at other people's work quite the same way. Or if I do see something that stands out in somebody else's work, I give them a pass that I don't tend to give myself, which isn't fair. I should give it to myself as well.
Teresa says very nice.
And go. So next week, fingers crossed, we'll be adding color. If not, it'll be me detailing this piece out. Or is there something else we need to focus on for add color? I don't know. A lot of people seem bored with this piece. So I don't know.
Do they seem bored or are you bored?
I'm a little bored too. I want to hurry up and get to the good stuff. Sometimes it's very boring just blocking everything in. I know it's necessary. I know why it's necessary. But I like to get to the detail. Kathy, don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark. Without the dark, you cannot have light. And without the light, you can't have the dark. They work together. You need them. And that's what takes a good wood burning to a fantastic wood burning, is the contrast. The darks and the lights are what shift it to a whole different level. So you gotta have them. Alrighty. Well, if we don't got no more questions, I think we will do lunch.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Well, you want those little pizzas.
Yes, we will make homemade little pizzas with spaghetti sauce, cheese, and English muffins. Yes. Not me learning. Oh, Andres, you learn all the time. You learn all the time. Alrighty, so we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, say it with me, because I almost forgot. Say it with me.
Okay.
Well, here we go. You're awesome.
With me.
You can do this. It's off the screen.
Oh.
Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Don't forget to hit the like button and share. Leave a comment if you're watching on replay. Happy burning, guys. Bye. You know, you